Students, in previous lectures we learn electromagnetic induction, and in today's lecture we'll discuss chapter number 13, AC circuits. In electromagnetic inductions we studied that whenever a coil is rotating in the magnetic field, even the coil and the magnet is in contact and one of them is in motion, the EMF is induced. Here in this chapter we are starting our introduction with coil rotating in the magnetic field, and the diagram is this. We are very familiar with this diagram. We studied this diagram in oscillation, motion of the coil in magnetic field or rotation of the magnet in magnetic field is simple harmonic motion. Even here the coil is in magnetic field, and if the coil is in rotation, according to the Faraday's laws, the flux is changes and EMF is induced. So the coil in magnetic field, N is the number of turns of the coil, A is area of the coil, and B is uniform magnetic field. Coil is in magnetic field and it is in rotation, it is in motion. Coil is continuously with constant angular velocity, it is rotating. The axis of rotation is perpendicular to the magnetic flux, and then the total flux passing through the coil is NAB. Phi is equal to NAB. This we already studied how the flux is there through the coil in the magnetic field. In time t, the coil rotates in magnetic field and it makes an angle theta with the field. Then flux through the coil is phi, and this flux we uh, can explain using the equation, that is phi NAB cos theta. Theta is the angle made by the axis of the coil to the direction of the magnetic field. Omega is the angular frequency, hence we'll write the equation NAB cos of omega t. Now we know the flux is changing due to the rotation of the coil in the magnetic field, and if we differentiate this uh, flux with respect to time, we'll get the EMF induced in the coil. So the using Lenz's law, E is equal to minus d phi by dt. Phi is NAB cos of omega t, and after differentiating, cos is minus sign, therefore we'll get the EMF induced in the coil, or we can determine the magnitude of EMF induced in the coil when coil is rotating in the magnetic field. This is E is equal to NAB omega sine of omega t. This is the differentiation of this quantity. Okay, n is the number of turns in the coil, a is the area of the coil, b is the strength of the magnetic field, omega is the angular frequency. So EMF is induced in the coil. Practically we can explain how the EMF is induced in the coil when flux is changes with the coil. This is equation 1. Now omega is 2 pi f. F is the frequency of the rotation of the coil in the magnetic field. So we'll write 2 pi f NAB. Even we'll write here sine 2 pi f into bracket and T. So EMF induced in the coil is related to the frequency of rotation of the coil in the magnetic field. Omega is 2 pi f. Then the expression is this, that is A is equal to N A B omega sine of omega t. This gives us the EMF induced in the coil. If instead of this, that is NAB omega, we'll write E naught. E naught is the maximum value of EMF generated in the rotation of the coil. Coil is rotated in clockwise and anti-clockwise direction. When it rotates in clockwise direction, the positive EMF is induced, and when it rotates in the anti-clockwise direction, negative EMF is induced. So our equation becomes E is equal to E0 sine of omega t. So this is the EMF induced in the coil when coil is rotated in the magnetic field. Now it is very clear from this equation, that is A is equal to E0 sine of omega t. Even here A is equal to NAB omega sine of omega t. The induced EMF is sinusoidal, or it changes with the time. Hence it is the sinusoidal EMF, or you can say it is the alternating EMF which generate in the coil. Sinusoidal EMF, it varies with the time or the sine function, hence it is sinusoidal. It is alternating EMF is there in the coil, and we know that once the EMF is generated in the coil, the current is induces, and this induced current is the alternating current. So this is the introduction. Even this is the working of the AC generator, and this fact we have to use everywhere in this chapter. Therefore we must know how the EMF is generated in the AC generator. So here is the new topic, phasor. Just now we studied EMF is induced in the coil, and once the EMF is there in the coil, uh, the current is induced. Then how the current and the EMF is related to each other in the AC circuits, that you can learn the phasors by phasor diagram. So we have to know what is this phasor and phasor diagram. So in AC circuit, uh, if we represent alternating current and EMF as a rotating vectors with the angle between them, and this angle is equal to phase difference between the current and EMF. These rotating vectors are called phasors. Phase we already studied in the chapter oscillations. Then diagrams: sine of omega t, uh, phase diagram for current, and phase diagram for this EMF. Here it should be E naught cos of omega t, and this should be I0 sine of omega t. On y-axis the current, and on x-axis the EMF generated. Or current, it separates in two uh, components. One component is along x-axis, one component is along y-axis. Last year you studied this type of diagrams in the chapter, that is which is in part 1. How this is: the velocity is resolved in two components. One component is along x-axis, one component is along y-axis. Here current is the instantaneous value, and it resolved in two parts. One is along x-axis and one is along y-axis. So the phasor inclined with the horizontal axis with at an angle omega t or omega t plus alpha phase angle, and it relates or it inclines with the horizontal axis, that is x-axis, and it moves with anti-clockwise direction. So a rotating vector that represents a quality varying with the sinusoidal with time is called phasor, and the diagram representing it is called the phasor diagram. Here in our diagram, quantity is the current, and it makes an angle with the horizontal. Angle is omega t or omega t plus alpha. It rotates in anti-clockwise direction. These quantities is the phasor, current is the phasor, and it is in anti-clockwise direction. This diagram is known as phasor diagram, and this idea we are using in the AC circuit to uh, know the relation between, or how the current and the EMF in the AC circuit varies with each other. So uh, we'll learn different types of AC circuits. The first one is AC voltage applied to a resistance, or simply you can say AC resistive circuit, and the circuit is. In this circuits, we will learn how the EMF and the current relates to each other by using the phasor diagrams. Here resistance is connected across the AC generator. R is the resistance across the AC source. EMF is E naught sine omega t. Just now we studied the AC generator, and AC generator is connected across the resistance. So EMF is applied across the resistance, and that EMF is E naught sine of omega t. E naught is the maximum value of EMF generated when the coil is rotating in the magnetic field. AC generator is the coil is rotating in the magnetic field. So here equation 1, E naught is the peak value of the sinusoidal EMF of voltage, omega is the angular frequency of the coil, and E is the potential difference across the resistance. Now E is equal to IR. We know the Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. Here in AC circuit, EMF is across the resistance, that is E. Therefore, E is equal to IR. Now, we'll write E is equal to E naught sine of omega t. And if we divide R here, we'll get the equation of the current. Current across the resistance. EMF across the resistance is E naught sine of omega t. And current across, when the EMF is applied across the resistance, the current is induced, and equation of the current is I is equal to E by R is equal to E naught sine of omega t by R. Here E naught by R, E naught is the peak value of EMF, R is the uh, resistance, then I naught is the maximum value of current across the resistance or in the AC circuit. So equation for the current is I is equal to I naught sine of omega t, equation number 2. Now look at the equation number 1. It is E is equal to E naught sine of omega t, and here current is I is equal to I naught sine of omega t. Both the equations are same. It is sinusoidal, only the phase will be different. Now resistance, if we compare these two equations, R is the resistance, and function of the resistance is the same in AC and DC circuit. It opposes the current. Now if we compare these two equations, both are the sinusoidal, EMF and the current which is in the AC circuit or AC resistive circuit, both are in the phase. Therefore we can plot the graph. Current is sinusoidal, EMF is sinusoidal. Only the peak value of current and peak value of the EMF in this resistive circuit is different. Both are in phase. Therefore will show the current and EMF in the diagram. Now phasor diagram has to be used to know the relation, or how this EMF and the current is relate with each other in AC circuits. Here current and EMF, this rotate both the quantities. These are the phasors, and they are rotating in anti-clockwise direction. Phase is same, they are along the same position, only the peak values will be different. And with phasor diagram we can show the relation between EMF and the current. Here it is very clear from this equation 1 and 2, both current and EMF are in the phase. They are uh, relate to each other, and this relation will be explained with the phasor diagram. Now next AC circuit is the inductance. We already studied the inductance in our previous chapter, uh, electromagnetic induction. When inductance is there in the circuit and current is passes through the inductance, the flux is changes and EMF is induced. This induced EMF is the back EMF. We already studied about the inductance. This is the diagram. Inductance is connected across the AC generator. Key is there in the circuit. L is the negligible resistance, that is inductance. It has the negligible resistance and connected across the alternating source of EMF. Now we know that EMF across the inductance is E naught sine of omega t. It is AC generator, and we already studied the theory of AC generator. EMF across the inductance, equation 1. Now key is closed and current is passes through the coil. Flux linked with the coil is changes and EMF is induced. We already know it is the self inductance. Then according to the Lenz's law, the equation or EMF induced in the coil is back EMF with negative sign. It is very clear that EMF induced in the inductance coil with opposed to the current in the coil. Changing current in the coil means whatever the flux is changing in the inductance coil, it opposes to the EMF induced in the coil. This happens in the same coil, therefore it is the self inductance. If we use this in the Lenz's law, we'll get the equation, that is E is equal to L di by dt. Remember, the EMF induced in the coil is the back EMF, and using it in the Lenz's law, therefore we'll get L di by dt. Now di, we have to find out the current across or induced current in the inductance coil. Therefore di is equal to, rearranging the equation, di is equal to, that is change in current, E by L inductance and dt. If we integrate this, we'll get the current induced in the inductance coil. Integrate. Now E is equal to E0 sine of omega t. E0 is the peak value, and even the inductance, it is a constant value. Therefore we'll write E naught by L and integral minus cos of omega t, omega divided by omega, and constant. Here constant of integral is 0, therefore we'll write minus E naught omega L sine of pi by 2. Instead of cos omega 2, we'll write pi by 2 minus omega t, 90 minus theta. This is the trigonometry identity used over here. Now this we can change, that is sine of omega t minus pi by 2, minus sign will be common from the bracket, and our equation becomes I is equal to E naught omega L sine of omega t minus pi by 2. I repeat, the minus sign is common from the bracket, so minus minus becomes plus, and inside the bracket we'll write omega t minus pi by 2. So this is the value of the current which is generated in the inductance coil, AC current. And now E naught by omega L, instead of that we'll write I naught. I naught is the peak current or maximum current induced in the inductance, and that is equal to E naught divided by omega L. So this is the value of equation of the current, and the EMF applied across the inductance is E is equal to E naught sine of omega t. If we compare this equation 1 and 2, both are the sine functions, or EMF and the current, it varies with the sine function, but phase difference is there. Here is omega t minus pi by 2, means the current is lagging by pi by 2 with respect to the EMF which or applied EMF across the inductance. Current and the EMF is there. EMF applied across the inductance coil and current is there in the inductance coil because of the change in flux and all. We already studied it. When the flux is changes, EMF is induced and the current is induced in the inductance coil. How this induced applied EMF and induced current is related to each other. They are with the phase difference pi by 2, but current is lagging by pi by 2. This we can explain with the phasor diagram. Here just I explain current I is lags behind the alternating voltage, that is EMF, and the diagram here EMF is with continuous line and current is with dotted line. Now current is lagging by pi by 2 with respect to EMF. Now by using phasor diagram is EMF is in anti-clockwise direction. It makes an angle with omega t with the horizontal. Current is lagging by pi by 2 with respect to the applied EMF. Therefore current is here and the angle between the EMF and the current, applied EMF and induced current, is 90. It is lagging by pi by 2. This we can explain with the phasor diagram. Both the vectors are rotating in anti-clockwise direction, but the angle difference between the applied EMF and the induced current is 90, is clear from the phasor diagram. So this is the explanation. Uh, just I explained this. Now inductive reactance. This is very important part of this topic, that is inductive circuit. What is inductive reactance? Now we know the equation for the current across the inductance, that is peak current. It is I naught is equal to E naught omega L, and value of current across the source. Just now we studied the current is there across the AC source, and this current is I naught is equal to E naught by R. If we compare these two, we'll write R is equal to omega L. R is the opposition to the flow of the current in the circuit, and it is equal to omega L. Definitely this quantity in inductive circuit opposes to the current in the AC circuit, hence it is the uh, reactance. And this opposition to the flow of the current in AC circuit because of the inductance, hence it is inductive reactance. What is inductive reactance? This quantity, that is omega L, in the inductive circuit, it equals to the resistance. Definitely it opposed to the flow of AC current in the circuit, hence it is uh, like a resistance, hence it is a reactance. Reactance means opposition to the flow of the current, and it happens in the inductive circuit. It happens in the inductive circuit, hence it is inductive reactance. Opposition to the alternating current is called the inductive reactance, and it is denoted by XL. Now XL is equal to omega L. XL is equal to inductive reactance is omega L, and omega is 2 pi f. From this equation it is very clear that the opposition to the flow of AC current, it relates to the frequency of AC generator and the value of inductance. It is in direct proportion, means if the frequency of AC generator is increases, the inductive reactance is increases. If the value of the inductance coil is increases, the inductive reactance is increases, means opposition to the flow of the current in AC circuit will be increases. So this is about the inductive reactance. And the next circuit, simple AC circuit, is AC voltage across the capacitor, or a capacitive AC circuit. AC capacitive circuit you can say in a simple words. So here is the AC generator across the capacitor, and capacitance of capacity C is connected across the AC generator. Now EMF across the capacitor is E is equal to E naught sine of omega t. Now we know that when the EMF is applied across the uh, component, the current is flowing, or current passes through the electric component. Here capacitor and the plates of the capacitors are there. Charges are generated on the plates of the capacitor, therefore potential difference uh, will be there on the plates of the capacitor. And because of the transfer of the charge on the plate of the capacitor, the charging of capacitor will be increasing, or it goes on increasing. Here Q is the charge, C is the capacity of the capacitor, and V is the potential difference across the plate of the capacitor when it is fully charged. Already this mechanism we studied in the chapter electrostatics. Q is the charge when it's sent to the plate of the condenser. The potential of the condenser is increases, and it relate to the capacity. So uh, here we'll write the relation between potential, capacity and the charge. Potential is charge per unit capacity of the condenser, or capacity of the capacitor. So we'll write this equation: Q is equal to CV, and uh, we know that here V is E, because sinusoidal EMF we are using in the AC circuit. So instead of V, we'll write E. So equation for the current, if we differentiate charge with respect to time, we'll get the current. We have to find out the current across the capacitor. Uh, Therefore, the equation is I is equal to dq by dt, but q is equal to C into E. E is the AC voltage across the capacitor. So E is equal to E0 sine of omega t. So our equation becomes I is equal to d by dt C E0 sine of omega t. E is equal to E0 sine of omega t. We know it. Now, after differentiation, this will be C E naught constant values, and cos of omega t. Omega is the differentiation. Now, C omega or omega C is in the numerator, so we'll write in denominator. So E naught divided by 1 by omega C cos of omega t, and here cos of omega t will write sine of omega t plus pi by 2 by using the trigonometry identity. Instead of E naught divided by 1 by omega c, we'll write I omega. This is the trigonometry identity, and uh, peak value. Okay, current is maximum when this is equal to 1. Now I naught is equal to E naught divided by 1 by omega c. Therefore equation for the current is I is equal to I naught sine of omega t plus pi by 2. I think this is equation 2, and equation for the EMF is this, that is E is equal to E0 sine of omega t. Now here if we compare these two equations, equation for EMF applied across the capacitor and equation for the current which is there in the capacitor. Now current is leading by pi by 2 with respect to EMF, and here in diagram EMF is with continuous line and current is leading by pi by 2, leading by pi by 2 with dotted lines. Equation for the current is I naught sine of omega t plus pi by 2, and here equation of the applied EMF across the capacitor is E is equal to E naught sine of omega t. So here definitely the in capacitive AC circuit the current is leading by pi by 2 with respect to EMF. Now the phasor diagram. EMF is this, omega t is the angle making with the horizontal and it is rotating in anti-clockwise direction. But uh, uh, as compared to this, the current generated across the AC capacitor or capacitive AC circuit is leading by pi by 2. Therefore this angle is 90 and current is in this direction. Both the vectors are rotating in anti-clockwise direction, and omega t is the angle with the horizontal by this EMF. Okay, now if we consider the total angle will be omega t plus pi by 2. This is the variation of these vectors in anti-clockwise direction in phasor diagram. So this is explained over here. Just now I explained it, how the EMF and the current in the AC circuit is relates to each other. This we can explain with the phasor diagram. Now capacitive reactance, uh, we know peak value of the current across the capacitor is E naught divided by 1 by omega c, and peak value of the current across the AC generator, it is I naught is equal to E naught by R. If we compare this equation, R is equal to uh, 1 by omega, sorry, 1 by omega c. If we compare these two, R is equal to 1 by omega c, means 1 by omega c is the quantity which oppose to the current in the capacitive AC circuit. This 1 by omega c is the capacitive reactance, the opposition to the AC current in the capacitive circuit by capacitance is the capacitive reactance, and it is denoted by Xc. So definitely Xc is equal to 1 by omega c. We'll see Xc is equal to 1 by omega c, and it is equal to 1 by 2 pi fc. 2 pi f, omega is 2 pi f. Definitely from this equation the capacitive reactance is in inverse proportion with the frequency of AC generator and value of the capacitance of the capacity. Means if the frequency of the AC generator is increases, the capacitive reactance will be decreases. If the value of capacitance is increases, the capacitive reactance will be decreases. Inductive reactance, capacitive reactance, and a resistance, the function of these three will be same in AC circuit. Resistance opposes to the current in AC circuit, same way inductive reactance and capacitive reactance opposes to the AC current in inductive circuit, inductive AC circuit, and capacitive AC circuit. So this is the important uh, topics from the chapter AC generator. Definitely it is same as to the chapter electromagnetic induction. The part of the chapter electromagnetic induction is useful to learn these AC circuits. Actually, we must know how the EMF is generated or AC generator used in the AC circuit. Then one more important aspect has to be keep it in our mind. What is the difference between the DC source of electricity and AC source of electricity? So you try to learn this difference between DC and AC circuit. Probably it is not explained in our book, but we studied the DC circuit in 11th science, that is Ohm's law. Uh, Even in practical laboratory, we are using the equipments which works on the DC source of electricity. How the AC current is there, why it is AC, that has to be learned from this chapter, uh, AC circuits. So we'll stop here in today's lecture, and next lecture we'll learn series LCR circuit and resonance in series LCR and uh, parallel parallel LCR circuit, or series resonance, parallel resonance. Thank you.